Welcome to Kentucky Tennessee Living's restoration of a 100-year-old coal camp house. While we are keeping our exact location a basic secret for safety reasons, other than from our family and friends, we can say that this house was a Consolidation Coal Company house built sometime between 1911 and 1924. We begin this video with a quick run-through of what was in the kitchen before we started our work. While the condition was disheartening, my mother and I could see potential and hope. After leaving the house, we immediately set to work to plan on how the kitchen would function. Today, we are going to cover how we made our kitchen countertops for less than $300. We are also going to cover mistakes that were made, a surprising mistake that we found by accident, and how we came up with solutions to fix the problems. Be sure to stick around to the end of the video for the before and after photos. This is day one of the rough sanding that we're doing for the countertops. This one has already been rough sanded and is ready for its next sanding. And we've got a little mark here that we still got to figure out how to get it out of the wood. But this is a sanding that we started, and it had too many cracks in it, so we puttied it. And then this counter, we haven't done the rough sanding yet. We've just done the putty. And how we made the putty is we took Elmer's glue all for wood, not the wood glue, but the clear glue, and mixed it with sawdust. And we made our own filler out of it. So that way it's red oak and clear glue, so that way it won't show up as badly when it's finished. And this is going to be the sink, and as you can see, we've ran into a boo-boo. So this is our island that we have created, and as you can see, we started with the stair steps like we did over in the corner to frame it in, and then we started filling in the middle with straight. But then we ran into an issue. The issue is this little piece right here. It's 3.5 inches wide. The boards themselves are 3.25. So our little solution to this is we are going to glue together 2 of these boards and then cut them on the outside of each one to size and place it in here. So hang on just a moment and I will take you outside and let you see the board we're working on. This is the solution to our 3.5 inch problem. And as you can see, yes, it is too wide at the moment. It's 7 inches across, which means we have to have 1.5 inches taken off of both sides. And what we're going to do is go down through the outside of each side so that it can meet in the middle, and then glue and nail it down so that way it won't go anywhere. But this took 4 boards to make this, and we need 53 inches. It's what we needed to complete the island. Now this needs one more sanding, and we just kind of dry set the sink to show where it's going to go and how it's going to face. But as you can see from my refrigerator, and that's where my stove will go, I will have one counter that will be used for anything that I take out of the refrigerator, anything that comes out of the stove, and there's my sink. So I do have a triangle, a working triangle. Now my paint stuff is sitting over here on on this other counter, but I'm going to show you what all this is going to look like. And the pressure cooker that you see there belonged to my grandma Geraldine. It came from the 1950s. It's been used by our family for years, and it's been handed down to me, and I don't know if I'll use it, but I definitely want to keep it because it is a family heirloom. But as you can see, my countertops are pretty well set. We just have to do one final sand, and then we get to do our staining. Now, we did the trim the other day around the bottom of the cabinets, and my mom calls it makeup, but it's the trim around the island. And let me go this way, and I can show you the trim that we did under the cabinets. Now, what we found with these cabinets was they were not even. Some of these were made in different time periods, and they came from different places, and they don't match, but that's okay. But what we did is we took what was left over from the countertops and evened up the bottom of the cabinets using the wood. And like I said, we don't let nothing go to waste here. Let's just see the other part of my cabinets here. Today we're going to finish our corner round, all around here. And our next project will be my kitchen table. And my son graciously sanded this for me while we had the circular sander, or the orbital sander, thank you. And he had accidentally put some burn marks in it, as you see. So what I have decided to do is paint this a royal blue to match my decor. I'm going to leave the bottom of the table and the chairs alone. I'm just going to paint the top of this so that it kind of goes with my decor. This is the kitchen countertops after one layer of the butcher block food grade polyurethane. And after each layer, as you can see, I am hand sanding the countertops for the next layer. I'm cleaning it with mineral spirits, so that way we get all the dust and everything off, and we get a surface that is smooth as glass for the next layer. When I wipe these off with mineral spirits, I will come back and show you what that looks like. Good morning, this is Kentucky, Tennessee Living, and we're doing the restoration of a 100-year-old coal camp house. And I wanted to talk about some problems and solutions that we have come up with. Now, this is oak, unfinished wood flooring, red oak. And when we put this together, we went the four corners and around and around and around and around, and we came up with an 1/8 of an inch problem here. So we took 2 boards and cut them along here, and it goes all the way down. As you can see, this crack goes all the way down to the end board where they go sideways. And we did not make it wide enough, but we didn't have enough of the pretty boards to do it again. So what we did is we saw the problem and we came up with a solution. Now, wood filler is actually made of pine sawdust, and it would have stood out because this is oak and that was pine, and that was 2 different woods and 2 different colors. So we took the sawdust, the fine sawdust from the orbital sander, and we mixed it with wood glue, and we filled in the little crack. And if I had not pointed this out where it is, you really could not see it overall. See? Looks like it just matches in. but it's actually an eighth of an inch full of sawdust and glue.
Tell them about the miscut over there in the corner.
Okay, now I love my brother. Love my brother put to pieces. And he did a really good job for me because he helped put this together.
And cutting boards.
And he cutting boards and things like that. And he actually cut along the side of the cabinets to make them even out with the plywood that was underneath. But we had an accident. He missed a spot right here. And
Missed
what?
Spot and cut into that countertop.
Yeah, he cut into the countertop. So we were like, oh no, we don't want to cut again all the way down through here, because that would have made this too short for underneath for your knees and the tears that we have to go here. So what we did is we took a redwood shim and we placed it in here and cut it off and filled in the little hole here with some more of the sawdust.
Or homemade wood filler.
Yeah, David calls it homemade wood filler. And we sanded it off. And again, if I'm not pointing this out to you, with the overall look, you really can't see it. But we have a couple sayings here. Every problem has a solution. And molding is a wonderful way to cover up mistakes. So we have another problem over here, and we're actually trying to figure out what we're going to do about this. We have cut this 12-foot board. It's actually two 6-foot boards, because you could not get a 12-foot oak board, a 1x4. So when we put this together and linked it together, it fit, no problems. But once we got it up here, and you can see where we have sanded it, it's not made it quite even.
You run into a problem with under the window too.
Under the window, the joint did not fit. It doesn't quite come together. But if you're wondering why we have the boards that we have behind it, is because when we took this out to put the board up, we weren't hitting any studs, and we couldn't figure out why. Well, when we accidentally put a hammer through through part of this, it showed us that there was nothing there but paper. And we were shocked because it wasn't drywall, it was actually paper. So we put these boards up. They were the original boards from the house.
Plaster slat boards.
They're plaster slat boards. And we have nailed them from stud to stud. And that gave us some support to be able to put the backboard up. And what we're going to do is we're going to take plates, some colorful plates, and we're going to break them up. And we're going to make a backsplash for underneath this window. And for right here for the stove. And we're not quite sure how the pattern's going to turn out yet. But when we get started doing this part, we will record it so that everyone can see what we're doing. But I wanted different colors here, not just gray, because I wanted something that if I decided that I wanted to go with a different color in this kitchen, that it would pretty well match. But for now, this gray will be here for at least a couple of years. I'm not one who likes to change my paint colors very often, as David can tell you. I had the same painting scheme for 10 years at my old house. The other problem that we have is up here, and it's with this cabinet. Now, this cabinet's been moved around the house, so it's quite dirty, and I haven't cleaned it up yet and painted it. But we're going to place it up here, even though it's going to come off of the refrigerator by 3 inches. And it's just one of those, going to be an oddball thing because our refrigerator is quite small. It's actually for an apartment, it's not for a house. So when we get a big refrigerator, it will fit underneath that cabinet quite nicely. And so I just wanted to let you guys know that there were some little mistakes in this, and we did have some problems. And it was an interesting project to do. But for every problem, there is a solution. And when you're dealing with red oak boards and you come across a little problem like what we had right here, our suggestion is to take the sawdust that you have and mix it with wood glue and use it as wood filler. It's cheaper to do it that way, but it also matches the boards better than pine does.
Not Elmer's wood glue.
Not Elmer's glue.
Industrial wood glue.
Industrial wood glue, because industrial wood glue does not turn as yellow as regular wood glue does. And I wanted to talk about the solution that we came up with for the kitchen sink. Now, the original kitchen sink was moldy, falling apart. The whole bottom was out of it. It had two boards that was holding it together. It was in pretty rough shape. And so what we did is we saved the front and we built the back. Now, what we did is we took plywood and we built the sides and we built the bottom out of plywood, which right now the bottom is kind of a mess because we're still under construction and it is kind of our holding place for bleach and different things. But anyway, tools. It's a catch-all for us right now. And we took beadboard and did the back. And the reason why we did beadboard on the back was because it really isn't supporting anything in the back because you have the two pieces of plywood and you have the front and you have the bottom. And so the back is kind of like you can leave it open if you want to, but we felt that it needed to be closed off, and so we used beadboard.
Keeps it sturdy.
And it helps keep it sturdy and helps the weight problem because this countertop is extremely heavy. And it's so heavy that I can sit on it and it won't bend. It is that sturdy. And so, and we have laughed and said that when 100 years from now, when somebody decides that they're going to replace this, they're going to have fun and they'll probably end up cursing us over it because it is so sturdy. And it's actually, the boards are glued and nailed to a piece of plywood. The piece of plywood is screwed into the cabinets. So they would have to remove the boards and then they would have to remove the plywood. So all I can say is 100 years from now, when you guys decide to change this, good luck.
Yeah. Our son made a mistake and didn't do that box for the plumbing right.
Yeah.
He was supposed to put it on the inside of the beadboard, but he didn't.
So yes, David pointed out there is a issue there. Our son was supposed to put the box on the outside, not the inside of.
He put it on the outside instead of the inside of the beadboard.
He put it on the outside instead of the inside of the beadboard, so it kind of looks unfinished. But that's okay. Nobody's gonna be looking under my sink, hopefully.
Yeah, well, I'll have to put some caulk in there
Now underneath this sink, again, our sinks are a catch-all, but this is going to be a prep sink and
nothing but food in it.
And we're eventually going to have a garbage disposal in here. we are also going to take out this cabinet and put in our garbage can here. It's going to roll out and go back in. But these are projects that we are working on later after we do the backsplash.
Yeah.
So we're not quite finished in here, but we are almost finished in here. And so it's coming together, and it's
Yeah,
more.
we're working on 7 different projects at the same time with 7 different rooms.
As I was saying, we will finish these eventually. It's coming together. It's looking better than what we all pictured it would. Uh, when we walked into this house, it was in pretty rough shape, and
Yeah.
we all decided that yeah, it's in rough shape, but it did have hope.
Don't we have the original walkthrough up online?
Yes, we have the original lock through online right now.
Yeah, tell them they ought to go look at that.
And if you want to see what the kitchen looked like before, uh, we have the original walkthrough that you can view, and you can see that it was in pretty rough shape. And I wanted to show you the third coat of the butcher block. This is the final coat. We're going by the recommendation on the can where this is concerned. And so this has to cure for 72 hours. So Wednesday it will be finished curing. And then supposedly we can put food on it after that point. But as you can see, they turned out really pretty. Now, I'm going to do something that a friend of mine in Maine did to his butcher block. And that is, he went and got some cutting board oil and he put it on his butcher block every single day, and that helped condition it. But I'm going to put this on there on Wednesday night and let it cure overnight. And then on Thursday night, I'm going to put the butcher block conditioner, and that will sit on here overnight. And then once a week, I will put this on there. And the reason why I'm doing that is so that the boards will stay pristine, because this is not pine, this is not birch, this is oak. And so I want to preserve this for as long as possible and keep it looking like brand new. Now over time, this will soak in the oil, hopefully, and will remain this color. But butcher block that is not taken care of will turn gray and will crack and will heave. So my intention is to keep this looking just as pretty as I can keep it, so that the next person who owns my house after I'm dead and gone will actually have a very nice butcher block, a true butcher block um, countertop. Kentucky Tennessee Living would like to thank you for watching our video series on the restoration of a 100-year-old coal camp house. Be sure to hit the like and the bell buttons, as the more likes we receive, the more that YouTube will share our videos with others. Again, we thank you for watching while we discover the mysteries in Appalachian history.